After the horrors of World War I, France was determined never to face another devastating German invasion. In the 1920s and 1930s, French military planners devised what they believed was a brilliant solution: an unbreakable wall of fortifications along the German border. This defensive masterpiece was the Maginot Line, a network of bunkers, tunnels, artillery casemates, and strongholds stretching from Switzerland to Luxembourg. It was named after André Maginot, the French Minister of War who championed the project. But in the crucible of World War II, this line of concrete and steel proved to be a costly failure. Origins of the Maginot Line. France's experience in World War I, especially the bloody trench warfare and German invasions of northern France, left deep scars. French military doctrine in the interwar period emphasized defense over offense. The trauma of the Great War, along with a declining population and a desire to avoid another full-scale conflict, made static defense seem like the best option. André Maginot argued that a strong, permanent fortification would protect France's industrial heartland in Alsace and Lorraine, giving the army time to mobilize. Between 1929 and 1938, France invested heavily in the construction of the line, incorporating cutting-edge engineering with underground living quarters, command centers, railways, air filtration, and even air-conditioned barracks. The structure and strategy. The Maginot Line was an engineering marvel. It wasn't a continuous wall but rather a series of heavily armed fortresses, known as ouvrages, linked by tunnels and supported by smaller bunkers and observation posts. The line was strongest along the German border but intentionally weaker along the Belgian frontier due to political concerns and budget constraints. French military planners believed the Ardennes forest to the north was impassable for tanks and thus left it largely undefended. They also assumed that any German attack would repeat the World War I pattern and come through Belgium, where they planned to meet the enemy with mobile forces. The fatal flaws. When Germany invaded France in May 1940, they bypassed the Maginot Line entirely. Using Blitzkrieg tactics, German panzer divisions poured through the dense Ardennes forest, a route the French had deemed impractical, and swept through Belgium and northern France with alarming speed. The Maginot Line was never breached in a full frontal assault. Instead, it was simply outflanked. Furthermore, political decisions played a role. France did not extend the fortifications fully to the English Channel, partly because it didn't want to antagonize Belgium. Once German forces encircled the line from behind, the fortresses became isolated and surrendered without major fighting. Legacy and lessons. The fall of France in just 6 weeks in 1940 shocked the world and rendered the Maginot Line a symbol of misplaced trust and static defenses. While the line itself was technically sound and well-built, it embodied a flawed military doctrine that ignored the pace and nature of modern warfare. The Maginot Line taught future military planners that fortifications alone cannot win wars. Flexibility, mobility, and the ability to adapt to new tactics, especially in the age of mechanized warfare, are far more critical. The Maginot Line remains a powerful historical metaphor, a magnificent structure built on outdated assumptions. Though it represented French engineering excellence and the desperate hope to prevent another war, its failure highlights how even the strongest walls cannot defend against poor strategic thinking. In the end, France's wall of defense became a costly relic of the past, unable to stop the tides of the future.